Hello everybody, here we are again with another Dokkan Battle video, and as you see on your screen, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is coming next month in November, and that should actually be in 2 weeks, and he's amazing. Today we are also joined by Happy, one of my friends from DFree's Discord, and he also has a YouTube channel that will be linked below, along with a part 2, so feel free to check that out, and thank you so much for being on the channel, Happy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
And of course, we know why we're here. You could see it in for Vegeta, of course. His art looks like Cooler's transformed art as well, which I think looks very, very nice. I definitely like his art for sure.
Yeah, his art's like really good, especially like the SSR pose. Like I don't know, I'm just really into that.
Me too. I really just want to see that on my screen. I hope I don't get shafted on this banner. Obviously, this is everyone's summoned because he's only the second Super Saiyan for Gogeta. And if we go ahead and take a look at the tech one, we definitely see he's kind of outdated here. He still has a fusion category leader, greatly raises defense for one turn, which is a buff. He gets 120% attack, a debuff extreme class. Now the high chance of evading enemy super attack still broken to this day. Um, I there's not much else to say. That alone is just insane. It made him good for a very long time. He's still even decent. He has good links. He has four categories, not the best, but he still has four categories. And today we're going to be kind of speculating ish on what he might do. We're going to be going over separate things like typing, leader skill, super attack, passive, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, this guy's probably going to release on October 31st. And what do you think about him so far, Happy? Do you know about his typing or anything like that?
I definitely think like I'm kind of mulling it over a little bit. I'm kind of leaning towards AGL because AGL Super
Mm-hmm.
Battle, like Stream Super Battle Road, is definitely the hardest, and I feel like that there's a chance this guy could really be kind of the ace in the hole and really try to make that stage a lot easier. Because when you look at Frieza, he made the extreme physical one like completely just a joke. Like he just evaporates it.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing as well. Along with that, the fusion category stage is still very, very difficult for Extreme Super Battle Road, of course. Even the normal Super Battle Road one, it's not like whenever, because the fusion team is not built for Super Battle Road. Like, best Super Battle Road unit in the fusion category is probably in Gotenks.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
came out very recently. He's very, very good. And I mean, we definitely need another debuffing unit like Gogeta could be on that category. I feel like with the past two like great units coming out being Gohan, like top tier, they're both stacking units. And they're both great in Super Battle Road, but they're definitely I would say more kind of built for long events, especially more on the Frieza end. Frieza's good in Super Battle Road, but you could definitely tell he wants to stack his defense up and get really powerful like that. And Gohan obviously greatly raises attacking defense, so he's great there. I feel like Super Saiyan for Gogeta, like you said, could be the ace in the hole for both the AGL, Extreme Super Battle Road, and the Fusion Super Battle Road. So that's why, if we go ahead and take a look at the Fusion category as well, you could see that AGL is kind of lacking. Um, so we do have AGL Gogeta right here. We did get the LR Goten and Trunks in the category, which we have that old Super Saiyan Gotenks. Um, we have Bropan, and the only other really good unit, Gogeta. Other than that, we have STR stacked. Physical has that Gotenks, and the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is gonna get an easy A. Int Gotenks is great, and the Int Gogeta is gonna. Now, Tech is a little lacking as well, just a little bit. But since the last Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was Tech, I kind of doubt the new one is gonna be as well. So that's why I think AGL is a probable option.
Yeah, I mean, I think like AGL, we know that Super Int is probably lacking as well, but I don't really see them doing that with Gotenks. I mean, and he
And
he
that guy
shouldn't
right
be
there.
STR. Like, let's be completely honest. Like, if he's STR, like I think that there's definitely going to be a problem. Just because Super STR is like by far the best type in the game. Like,
if he's STR, I will. If he's STR, I will uninstall Dokkan, and this will become a Genshin. Yes, I can't. I see a cat. I'm out of STR orbs, Bandai Akatsuki.
Yeah.
Um, Another reason I don't think he's gonna be in is because if you scroll down, in Gogeta, he is there and he can get an EZA.
I'll pull it.
So he's gonna be pretty. He does. He could actually very well EZA, this celebration, and he's gonna be pretty stupid. But that's enough. Sidetracking right there with these other units. Let's go back to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta specifically here. And let's talk about leader skills. I know, Happy, you have some pretty interesting thoughts, I think, on what his leader skill could be. So go ahead and let us take over here.
I think there's like I think like the two main options I'm kind of leaning towards is one kind of like a Super Saiyan 4 category, which I think is probably the unlikely option, um, which could kind of relate to the Dragon Ball Heroes Token Fest, which or whatever unit the end of November that comes out. But one thing I'm kind of
Mhm.
leaning towards is kind of a overpowered fighter kind of category where it was just opponents who completely just blew their opponent out of the water. Like you look at Blue
Mhm.
Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, like Namegoku, Super Vegito, like units like that their opponent just couldn't even put up a fight against.
Yeah, that's a pretty good category idea for sure. I definitely like that idea a lot. It's very, very interesting to bring that into the game specifically. I personally think there are there's one category I think well two he might introduce. Um, but if we go with the first route, he could very well just not introduce the category. If we look at the four categories, he has Fusion, Shadow Dragon Saga, Kamehameha, and Final Trump Card. I mean, they're pretty good categories, and two of them in mine haven't had a new ever. Shadow Dragon Saga and Kamehameha. A lot of people are expecting him to be a Kamehameha leader, and I think that's very, very probable because the last one was like Ajo Alargohan, and he's been the only Dokkan Fest one. Um, and if we look here, Kamehameha is obviously insane, so I think it really does need a new leader. Maybe 150% across the board, since Gohan is already 170% attack. Um, I don't know. I feel like if maybe like this Gogeta like maybe orbs or something, he would be a great addition because the biggest struggle with this that's for sure. Or if he was like a 4 key. So this team could definitely get a pretty big buff in Gogeta, given that he does do the Kamehameha, which I'm pretty sure he will because it's Gogeta. He's gonna do the. Uh, Two interesting new ideas. If they decide, if they don't decide to bring new categories, they could also just do Shadow Dragon and Kamehameha. On that, I think that's what I think. Be probably the best choice because I don't want new in the game to. We have a billion categories. Shadow Dragon Saga. Who really wants one physical Omega as the leader?
I mean,
I
if you can even
mean,
find a physical Omega lead nowadays.
exactly. You need to ask someone like who has physical Omega friends list and be like, "Hey, could you put physical Omega on there?" Basically, that's what you have to do.
Yep.
Other than that, I would say, with without a chance, there are two surefire categories that I think would do really well with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. One, a lot of people are gonna hate because a lot of people don't want this to happen, but they could introduce a GT category in the game. Now, people are gonna be like, "Well, what happens to Shadow Dragon Saga? Woohoo!" There's ways they could work around that. Like, for example, think of I know we don't have Hit pulled up, but think of Hit from the Hit Tech Hit. He has the Universe 6 category. Most of those units are in Universe Survival. So people are going to be like, well, Universe 6 is useless, basically. But that's not true because Universe 6, as you see right here with Hit, thank you, Happy,
Yep.
he gets 170% to Universe 6 and then 150% to Universe Survival Saga. So, what they could do with that, they could have Shadow Dragon Saga be like 4 key, 170% across the board. Then they could do GT, a brand new GT category, which will help so many units like that don't fit in a category. Like Super 17, you can get a new category. Like Angel Frieza and Cell from GT. Some of those GT Kid Gokus. Some Baby specifically. Giru could get a new category as well. There's many units. And there's many more units that they could add eventually into the future of Dokkan. STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku when he gets an EZA. I don't believe Bra's on Shadow Dragon Saga as well. This Tech Oob right there, GT Trio, it could very well help out this category. Shadow Dragon Saga, it would help support it. And since they'll all have GT Link, it'll work very, very well. Um, the other option that they could go through with is by introducing some random weird category, which I was thinking about it for a while. I feel like time category. So if we look at Over in the Flash for an instance right here, Over in the Flash has a lot of units that you would consider time limit. So Vegito Blue, Gogeta Blue, Ultra Instinct Goku, God Goku, Full Power Frieza, literally any Super Saiyan 3, many God Gokus as well. There's obviously some units on here who aren't like who don't have Over in the Flash. So say, I'm thinking like Full Power Frost, for instance. But there's some units who are on here that probably won't be on there, like Majin Vegeta wasn't really time limited, stuff like that. I know Happy, you said you had some other ideas about who could be on this category, correct?
They could also put on Golden Frieza from Resurrection F because his power up was kind of was
Mm-hmm.
definitely time limited. Um, I think also like this Super Saiyan Kaioken Goku would 100% be on there. Um, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks MUI. I mean, I think this could be definitely a really interesting category. A lot of these units are going to probably share similar key links because they're all going to be over in a Flash unit, so the team's going to link really well. So I mean, it's definitely
Mm-hmm.
an interesting category.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the only thing that would be bad coming out of this category is that just like how people would say GT would invalidate Shadow Dragon Saga, this category could kind of invalidate because every single Super Saiyan 3 unit will basically be this category, and um, that might not be fun for some people. But I mean, at this point, who really category? It's gonna get buffed eventually in the future, and I mean, who knows? For all we know, in the future, you can get a 170% across the board leader skill. But I just feel like no one runs it anywhere, so who really cares? It could really help a lot of those Super Saiyan 3 units you just don't use anymore. And it could definitely be pretty good over in the Flash category. Be very um yeah, that's really all we have to say. Your skills, I think. Do you have anything else to happy or
No, I just think it's kind of interesting because I think there's a really good shot that he's, like you were kind of going over, that he's going to lead probably one of these four categories that he's on. Um,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, I think Kamehameha or Shadow Dragons are definitely the leading candidates. I don't think we need another fusion leader. Like we have like, a
No,
gazillion of those. And Final
no,
Trump
those
card I think is a
fusion
little too
leaders.
new for them to add another, a third leader for this category.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible to add one, because we just got that sub leader for Goku, the Spirit Bomb, the Int one, and I mean, I'm thinking about it really. The fusions on JP came out all the way back in like late January, beginning February, so it is definitely possible, but I doubt it. Because Kamehameha and Shadow Dragon Saga have gone way longer without a leader skill, and it would just be dumb. It would straight up be dumb to not get those two categories in skill. Um, I would definitely prefer a 4 key 150 split like Golden Frieza rather than the attacking defense. Because 170% attacking defense, but that 4 key is stupid, especially if he has a Kamehameha leader skill. That would so much that would help that team a lot.
Yeah, especially for units like
Look at
El
all those
Rose,
LRs.
you know, Boo Tank, Cell, like units that you want to get, key to.
Or even like some of the superclass units, like LR Gohan and Goten right there. LR AJO Gohan, sometimes he has troubles with, key links, with getting enough key,
Yeah,
not really
these
key
guys
links.
right here,
Yeah,
they're another big one.
those guys right there. Oh boy. If Super Saiyan, like I said earlier, if Super Saiyan Pro Gogeta like the orb changer, which I think he's is possible he could be an orb changer. Um, I'll give a little more thoughts on that why in a bit, but that would definitely help that unit out so much.
Yeah.
So that's really all I have to say about his skill. Let's move on to the actual unit itself. What I think. let's go back and forth on. So his super attack effect, I don't think that he's gonna be a stacking. He could be because they love like basically shit units, but I doubt it. I feel like he's more so of a like one shot, like one attack, not building up over time like Frieza and Gohan kind of are in the show. He's kind of just powerful, straight up. That's why he's not a transforming unit. So I think he's going to basically greatly raise attacking defense. There's not much else he could do. He could possibly debuff attacking defense super attack. That's something that they could toy with. For all we know, he could even massively raise attacking defense. What do you think?
I mean, I think kind of what you were saying is I think he's going to be an out of the gate, like kind of like a super battle road monster, is kind of what I'd say. So, I mean, I think, greatly raising attack and defense for one turn or greatly raising defense for one turn, like anything to help him out for kind of like a one turn basis so he doesn't really need a build up, I think is going to really help this guy out.
Mm-hmm. Um, well, for something that they could do, honestly, give them the greatly raised attacking defense 3 turns.
Yep.
They've been giving a lot of units that type of super attack lead. I think that could definitely be very good for him. Even in super battle.
Yeah, that would make him really powerful, like, especially in, like, he'd be really good in Super Battle Road. That could also help in longer events because he can have, 200, 250k defense.
Especially if they get an additional. That's when things get when you have the 3 turns and the additionals. Boy. Um, for his passive, it's very interesting where they can go with this passive. I don't think they're just gonna copy this guy's doing. They might. I feel like they might straight up just scrap the debuff he has against in class and replace it with something else, or maybe put it in his super attack effect because I feel like they kind of want to dictate him, but at the same time that's like a really good ability. If I had to guess, he's probably gonna get like a attack and defense 40%, something like that. Just a baseline. What I'm worried about is the high chance of counter. Me and Happy were talking about it before, but the high chance of counter is stupid. Like, if he has it, he'll be in. that's for sure.
Yeah, it still
70%
makes this
chance.
guy relevant to this day. He's,
Mm-hmm.
3 years old. He's still relevant because of this counter ability.
Such a great utility. That's why I'm a little hesitant to say if he's really going to be the best or not. Like, you may be like, well, that's opposite. Kind of like if he has this broken ass ability, he's going to be insane, right? He's going to be very good. But because he has that, I feel like there's a chance they might make counter like how much he's going to take a normal attack, not be double digits, obviously, like Frieza or Gohan Super Battle. Um, but at the same time, if he's built to be a Super Battle, then I mean, he's basically going to take very, very little damage for Battle Road, which is what we want, for sure. Like, if he's just a monster, like 120% attacking defense, high chance of countering, maybe get rid of the debuff. But what I would like to see is, I'm sure many of you know, the counter is because basically kicked away Omega's full power energy ball. Um, he purified that energy into basically good kind of energy. It looked like rainbow in the anime from what I remember. So I'm thinking he might like randomly change key spheres or like that. What do you think? I think that'd be interesting,
I think, I
especially
mean,
for like.
that would definitely, help out a lot of different teams, especially if
Mhm.
he's on the Kamehameha team or, like the Shadow Dragon team, even though they all share the GT link. There's some,
Mhm.
LRs on here. If he creates Rainbow Orbs, it's going to help these two, monsters out. I mean, I
Exactly.
think,
And
I always
then,
like orb changers because they just give you so much utility with rotations and
mhm,
everything. So I'd be all for
especially
it.
like under his own leader skill, he could just float him off. He'll be creating rainbow orbs. You know, he'll be pretty insane. He'll kind of be like reminiscent of Beerus. And say like if you run him in the legendary Goku event, float him off because he's just creating those orbs. He has amazing defense. He'll be hitting very hard. Um, Other than that, on his passive, there's not much else I could really he could do or he would do if we judge based off the original and for Gogeta himself. I mean, yeah, if they don't want to make him in, they probably won't give him like something stupid like Gar or like that. He's gonna be insane either way. what are you thinking? Like he passive. I know you mentioned something very that would make him insanely stupid before this. I
Yeah,
don't want you to mention.
I think one thing is if they give him like attacks effective against all types when facing one enemy, which also would give him, if he's really good in Super Battle Road, would also give some utility in, Infinite Dragon Ball History, Legendary Goku event. But one thing also is, I kind of want to ask you, is what do you think his active skills going to be? Because one thing I'm kind of leaning towards is that he has like a taunt. So for example, if you're below 50% HP, he gets, 30% damage reduction and all enemies are forced to attack him for the turn, or something like that.
That's very interesting. I think he's going to have, yeah, kind of like a taunt. I know a lot of people are thinking confetti Kamehameha, and I think that would be pretty cool. The confetti Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Basically, it would ensure him on the category. It would probably ensure him on the Kamehameha category for sure, as long as it hasn't. I think it'll probably be against only one enemy. That's because he really only fought Omega. I don't think there's gonna be HP restriction because he literally did not get hurt. Like he was at full health, Juggernaut. Um, what could be interesting is if it's like when at 100% HP or when at max health, you get this, and then all you have to do is like use Zubine or something if you're like below that threshold, and just use the active skill. I think what in terms of what it could do, probably the stun the enemy, for like a few turns or something. Basically like Trunks and Mai. Maybe do a guaranteed crit, something like that. I don't know. It could be interesting. Or what if it just doesn't do damage, but just stuns the whole enemy? I think that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things they can do with this. I mean, like we could sit here guessing all day and completely get it wrong. Like they're like we don't really know what they're thinking. There's like a million options they can do. Like
Yeah. The one thing I kind of hope they're gonna do, what I would want, is try to take out like one of those. Because if you look here, he has a lot of healing. Shocking Speed, Overnight Flash, Spider, and GT. They got updates from the actual link level update. Like for example, Overnight Flash 70%. Um, there's a lot of attacking defense added to that, so it's gonna be very very good. But what I personally would like, is if they replace Shocking Speed with like Saiyan Roar. I think that would be the best because, oh, excuse me, I probably burped there, but Super Saiyan 4, there's not a lot of Super Saiyan 4s as there is, or even Great Ape units in general. So like, if they go ahead and give him that, that would very much help all these units out, specifically the Super Saiyan 4s and any future Super Saiyan 4 that comes out. It's just really weird that he doesn't have that link. It's understandable, but I think it's probably better if he has that link over Shocking.
yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, Saiyan Roar is one of the most powerful links in the entire game. I mean, it's a very rare link,
Mhm.
but if he leads Shadow Dragons, for example, both of these guys are on that category. And if you get one of them on the rotation, like if he changes Rainbow Orbs, he's gonna make these guys 10 times better.
Definitely. And if we consider like Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, that support unit, he's still like very good if you want to like buff up those and make him look very very powerful. He could be an option that could be really great for him. For all we know, that guy could get an easy A and he could be stupid good. Well, wait, I'm at the other
Oh,
Super Saiyan.
I thought you were talking about the SR one.
No, the SCR one, the
Uh,
one that's grade A.
yep. I
Um,
know what you mean
there's
though.
no problem though. He's right there. Yeah, this guy could get an easy A for all we know. That's pretty insane, but that's probably just a topic video. That's basically all I really have to think about for Gogeta. No matter what, Super Saiyan for Gogeta, he's gonna be absolutely stupid. Um, so I would say we have to. I would always say we still have to look at what he does. For all we know, this could be like an Ink Goku Black situation where it's a very very hype character, and then they just drop the ball and make. And for all we know, they might not make him as good as Gohan or Frieza, but just because you're saying for Gogeta, everyone's gonna summon regardless. That's always possible. Yeah, there's not much else I have to say. Any last thoughts, Happy, before we wrap up here?
I mean, I think we covered all of it. I don't think they're gonna let this guy down because based off the last Frieza, how for good Frieza and Gohan are, he's at least gonna be on their level at worst.
Oh, it's around that level. It'd be very odd if they don't because, again, it's the second Super Saiyan for Vegeta we had, and it's going to be a very nice buff to both Shadow Dragon Saga and Kamehameha, even the fusion category as well. Final Trump card is probably the but it'll still be nice to have these. All right, we basically covered everything. Thank you if she's watched until the end, everyone. We're going to be continuing a part 2 on Happy's channel, where we're just basically going to be going over how the Super Saiyan for Gogeta could basically influence the hero celebration or what this might mean for the hero celebration, things like that. So if you want to go ahead and check it out, please feel free to go ahead part 2 and take a look at Happy's channel. He makes very good content, very quality content. Especially if you're a global player, you're gonna definitely his, yeah, YouTube, because he is global and I'm JP, so pick and choose your poison, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you again, and I'll see you all in the next